What's going on YouTube? Flashy here and welcome back to another Mortal Kombat 11 video. Only today, we're not playing Kombat League because we're currently in between Season 13 and 14, so I thought we'd switch things up a bit. So over a year ago, which is crazy to think about, I released a video called My Top 5 DLC Character Wishlist, or something like that. It was so long ago that the game literally was not even out yet, and the background gameplay was matches from like an early Kombat Cast reveal. But anyway, we've had 9 DLC characters so far and a pretty filled out roster, so I think now is a great time to talk about who I'd want to see in the game next. I'm going to be going over 5 Mortal Kombat universe characters, and then I'm going to finish up with 1 guest character to kind of create my own version of a Kombat Pack. I have some fun matches for you guys rolling in the background, so without further ado, let's get into my 2020 updated DLC wish list. So number 5 on the list is Quan Chi. Now this is actually an interesting one to me because I don't think I ever really played Quan Chi much over any of the games. Maybe back in like the 3D era, I would play a little bit of Quan Chi, but I went back and watched some Mortal Kombat X videos, and a Summoner Quan Chi video came up, and I was watching and I was like, wait a minute, this could actually be an awesome character for Mortal Kombat 11 for a couple reasons. But the first reason specifically that sent me down this rabbit hole of putting Quan Chi at number 5 is if they kind of did a play on the Summoner variation, the one from the Mortal Kombat X video. And if you didn't play MKX, you don't remember, in that variation, Quan Chi kind of summons this like nether bat, devil bat thing, and it can do a couple of different moves after he summons it. But I was also watching some Injustice 2 footage, or games, whatever, gameplay, and Atrocitus essentially has that cat, and I'm sorry, I don't remember the name of it, but he's got that cat pet, and I was like, what if they implemented that whole idea of a character with this quote-unquote pet into MK11? I think that would look absolutely awesome. So right off the bat, there's one of your gear slots is Quan Chi's whatever he decides to summon, because I know he summons quite a few different like nether animals or beasts or whatever you want to call them. So I think Quan Chi could be really cool just in the fact alone that he could have a little animal companion that he could use maybe for one of his variations, or it's part of his base kit. That's what sent me down this rabbit hole. And then I was looking at Quan Chi a little bit more, and I was like, first of all, his skins could look amazing. I mean, we have that Quan Chi Kombat League skin. I forget what season it is, but just that one alone, if you put that on Kano or something, or Baraka, like it looks exactly like the character, and you could just see how good he could actually look with all the colors and the way that the characters and their skins look in this game. So Quan Chi definitely takes it for me. Another piece of customization that they could do for him is based on whatever skin he's using, you could kind of change the color of what his trance looks like, or whatever his sorcery moves look like. Kind of how Cetrion, when you change her skin, let's say she's rocking a red skin, all of her moves will turn red and stuff like that. I think that is such a cool idea to change the moves and everything, and I don't think a lot of characters have that. But I think with Quan Chi, if you could change the color of his magic based on the skin he's using, I think that would look awesome. And again, he's just got amazing, he has so much potential. He's got portals, he's got magic, he can summon beasts, and right there, that's 3 variations. That's 3 tournament variations just like off the top of my head. I don't have any notes here or anything. I just have the characters' names written down. So I think that would be really, really cool. I think Quan Chi would be a great fit. Also, the Quan Chi and Shang Tsung intros and dialogue to each other could be unbelievable if you're into lore or just blasts from the past for old games, old encounters that the two of them shared. I think bringing those up in intros would look really, really good. So overall, I think Quan Chi would be a great fit, and I think that's kind of how I've modeled this top 5 list in terms of who would be a good fit, not just completely random, and like there's a little bit of story to them. They're good with intros, they could look good with the skin and the gear system, fatalities, brutalities. So that's kind of how I'm molding all this, and I think Quan Chi would just look great. He's got so many different kind of avenues that you could take him, and I think anything that NetherRealm do with him, if they put him in this game, could look absolutely amazing. But I will say the first one is completely biased towards the character that I want in the game. But we're not there yet. We just finished up Quan Chi. Let's go to number 4 on the list, which is Sektor/Cyrax. I felt like originally I had put these separately, but I was like, you know what? Let's just put them together. So Sektor and Cyrax, I don't know how they would do it. Do I want another Triborg type character? Maybe call it a Duo Borg, or they could even go Quad Borg in this one. Take it to the next level and add another Cyber Sub-Zero, or actually have it as a character. I don't know what they want to do, but Sektor/Cyrax, I feel like they have to be in this game. When I played through the story mode, and I'll flash up pictures. These aren't just like fan art pictures. These are pictures from the Mortal Kombat 11 story mode, where the characters had moves, they had animations, and they definitely looked like they had some skins in the vault, because they look absolutely unbelievable. I think Sektor and Cyrax would be such a great fit for this game. Just the way their combos work, I think Cyrax could look awesome. He could definitely be a Fujin style character like he's always been, which is super execution heavy, right on the button. Like you have to do the precise move, all the precise inputs. Sektor could do what Sektor does best and just lock it down with projectiles, flamethrowers, teleport punches. I mean, they both look so good. And if you don't know what these characters look like in the game, it's one of the early chapters in the MK11 story mode. I know it's been a while since the game came out, so maybe you don't remember, but go back and just fight. Do the chapters where you're fighting Sektor and Cyrax. They look unbelievable. I think Sektor actually has a red, like a primary red and secondary white variant. And then he has like the opposite of that, which is white and red, if I'm not mistaken. So I'm pretty sure they already have like skins and alternate colors for these characters. I don't know why they're not in the game yet. I'm assuming they have to be because way back in the day, didn't Ed Boon say something about like, we will never put NPC characters in the game again? I could be making that up, but I'm pretty sure after what happened in MKX, they're like, yeah, we're going to stay away from NPC characters that we make models for and then you can't play them because clearly that didn't work. People didn't like that. I mean, you saw all these awesome characters in MKX and then you couldn't play any of them. I'm not even going to get into them. But yeah, there's a couple that were in the game. They had models, they had skins, they had animations, and we didn't get to ever play as them, and it's kind of a bummer. And I hope Sektor and Cyrax don't fall into that trap or fall into that category of amazing looking characters that only got like 2 chapters of limelight in a game where they could shine. They could have 3 amazing variations each. You could take Triborg to the next level and make each variation one of the robots, so technically each robot only has 1. So there's a Cyrax variation, a Sektor variation, and then whoever you want the last. I know there's a couple different robots in the world at this point, and even on what is this, Cyberlink Quay Assembly, that stage, there's a couple different robots you see in the background, so maybe they're doing something with that. Maybe that's just a big tease, but if you go back to Injustice 2, some characters, like Sub-Zero, you could be a green Sub-Zero or a purple one to be Rain or Reptile. Yeah, you're still playing Sub-Zero, but you could just change the color. I think doing that with Sektor and Cyrax would be awesome. Having a bunch of different colors, kind of like RoboCop. RoboCop's got blue, purple, yellow, red. He's got all those special robot skins. I think doing that with Sektor and Cyrax could look awesome. I think making a Cyrax skin that's like dark blue or dark purple could look absolutely awesome, but you're still doing all the Cyrax stuff. You know, just something that we've never seen before, and I think there's a lot of opportunity there. Also, make one of their gear pieces their masks. I mean, NetherRealm blows the mask game out of the water. Their customization with the masks that they make for their characters, whether it's Injustice, whether it's MK, the mask customization specifically can look so good. I mean, just go look at some of like Bane's masks in Injustice 2. Like, the masks that they make are unbelievable. So I think that's a gear piece right there. They would probably also do a chest piece like Frost, which is nothing crazy. And then who knows, maybe like, I don't know, some shoulders or bracers or something. But I think the mask could look awesome, having a bunch of different colors. And I mean, Sektor and Cyrax have looked so different over the years. There's human versions of them. There's different robot versions of them. There's the old school versions. There's the MK9 versions of them. I mean, there's the MK11 versions of them, which literally exist. So there's just so much room for opportunity there with Sektor and Cyrax, and I think it would be wasted potential if NetherRealm didn't put them in. Again, this is all assuming that they put out another combat pack, but I think that would be awesome if those two were in the game. Again, whether they're separate and they take up 2 slots, or they do another Triborg, Quadborg situation like they did in MKX, or like they did with Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles in Injustice 2. I think they have figured out the formula to incorporate multiple characters into one, and I think the fans really don't mind that. You know, I think if Sektor and Cyrax are one character and they share some kind of base loadout, but then you kind of, you know, you tweak them to how you want them to be, I think that would keep people happy. I would definitely play the characters. I think that's a ton of fun. But yeah, I think in the number 4 spot, we got to go Sektor and Cyrax. I mean, they're staples in MK, and they look so good. They look so good in this game, and I think they could just look even better with all different types of customizations and brutalities and meter burn combo extenders and fatalities and throws and all that good stuff that this game has to offer. So Sektor and Cyrax in the number 4 spot. And now let's move on to number 3. And number 3, we have Kenshi, the Blind Swordsman, one of my all-time favorite Mortal Kombat characters. I don't know what it is about Kenshi, man, but ever since I was a kid, I only ever played as Scorpion in Mortal Kombat, but I saw Kenshi in the select a character screen way back in the day, and I was like, whoa, that guy looks awesome, and I immediately played him, and it was the only character I ever played except for Scorpion. If I was losing as Scorpion in the arcade ladders and like Mortal Kombat Deception, I would switch over to the man himself, Kenshi. I think Kenshi would be great in this game. He was awesome in MKX. He was my first main in Mortal Kombat X. He was a DLC character, if I'm not mistaken, in MK9, and I mean, they always knock it out of the park with him. Just go watch any MKX Kenshi variations where either it's Possessed Kenshi, Balanced, or Kenjutsu. For those of you guys that didn't play MKX much, Possessed Kenshi, basically all of his moves turned into like demon spirit moves, which were really cool. Balanced Kenshi, all those spirit moves that were demon ones and possessed are kind of just like this blue light version of him. And then Kenjutsu is just him and his sword that he uses. So right there again, you could make it a legacy character. That's three awesome variations right there. A possessed version of himself, a light version of himself, and then one base all around his sword techniques and stuff. And again, I think Kenshi's got some of the coolest fatalities too. If you just go back to MKX, doesn't he like pick you up and spin his sword really fast and send you through it to slice you through? Like, this guy has just been absolutely awesome, kicking ass since day one. I mean, alone, let's talk about his gear pieces. First and foremost, back to the mask / blindfold. Give this guy so many different opportunities for gear and customization, because if you look at MKX, we have something like Samurai Kenshi. So we could go something all the way. You could just take that all the way and just make him Samurai Kenshi. And, you know, that's some of his gear pieces where maybe it's like shoulder armor and a samurai mask. And then, you know, like a chest piece or his blade, of course. His blade is going to be his weapon. And, because obviously in MK11 we have a very high focus on weapons. So I think Kenshi, yeah, do what you do with Scorpion. I mean, they've nailed the sword. They've nailed swordplay. Go play Misery Blade Scorpion or just base character Scorpion. Go look at Robin in Injustice 2. Fujin, I know he's got like a shorter sword, but that's another sword-based character with his back 1/1 string. Like, they have nailed the sword techniques and how they look. I think Kenshi would fit perfectly in MK11. Like I said, just imagine a character like Scorpion just using his swords, and then like he's got his spirit moves and things like that, and he could look so good. I think Kenshi could look so good, because again, with MK being so deep, being like 20 plus years old, right? These characters have gone through so many iterations, so I'm not saying like you don't have to try hard to make these skins. Obviously, you got to get creative and make them, you know, make people want them and make them look cool and put these characters in the best light, but at the same time, it's like these skins are pretty much writing themselves. You know what I'm saying? People always love the ode to the throwbacks, man. When that MK Deception Sub-Zero came out, I still only use that. I don't use any other Sub-Zero skin except for the Mortal Kombat Deception skin. The Shredder sub, if you will. Like, I love that. I think MK fans love that, being able to, you know, see old skins that they loved growing up in like these new engines and modern day and being able to still play them, you know? So I think Kenshi can look really good. Whether you go the full samurai route, whether you go with that like that light, tight-skinned armor that he had in MK9. So, I mean, there's so much opportunity there for Kenshi to just look so cool. And with his moves as well, like his brutalities. Think about all the sword moves that he has. Those brutalities look amazing, just slicing the characters in half. And then all of his spirit moves could look unbelievable, right? He summons like a spirit version of himself that just beats the hell out of somebody with his spirit sword. Like, imagine that. It's pretty. And again, that just made me think, like, it's essentially a clone, right? He essentially has a clone of himself. They killed the clone with Noob Saibot. Noob is the perfect example of making a clone character work, especially in MK11. So if Kenshi now has a blend of Scorpion with his sword and Noob Saibot with his clone moves, whether it's a possessed clone or a spirit clone of Kenshi, right? Oh my goodness, that would look sick. That would look so cool. And that's another customization piece right there. You could do Kenshi's mask, his sword, and his clone. Like, that would look unbelievable. And right there, again, that's just a blend of Scorpion and Noob Saibot. It's not copy and pasting the character, but the inspiration is already there to show that this can work. You know what I'm saying? So I think Kenshi would fit amazing. And he would have awesome brutalities. He is one of the most brutal characters. Like, I don't think people realize how badass Kenshi really, really is. Like, again, just go watch his MKX brutalities or his MKX fatalities. Like, his character's no joke. He's really badass, and I think that he would fit so well in a game like MK11. His fatal blow, oh my goodness, his fatal blow could look awesome. I don't even know what they would do with it, but I just know that it could, with the animations and the spirit version of Kenshi, like, you could just do some crazy stuff. But enough about Kenshi. Let's move over to spot number 2. We are almost done here. Coming in the number 2 spot, we got Ermac, the Red Ninja. Error Macro, aka one of my favorite characters in Mortal Kombat, and I'm actually so disappointed that I didn't play him more in MKX. I don't know why. I think I didn't play him much in MKX because he was a little too floaty. And I don't know if that's going to make sense, and maybe I just had to put more time into the character. But he was a little floaty, and like it never worked out for me. I just couldn't get the combos down. But I think Ermac would be such a great fit in MK11. And I mean, first and foremost, we already have the character model for him. He's in the crypt. We've seen him. We know what his MK11 base look would look like. It's awesome. And it's there. It exists. So, again, going back to the Sektor and Cyrax thing, like, let's not waste this character. Also, Kenshi is in the crypt as well. But, again, let's not waste this character. Like, you put time into creating this model, like, and it looks so good, and it's for such an awesome character. Like, if you just play Ninja Shang Tsung, and you use his down back one, which is the Ermac lift, just that move alone is so satisfying and dope, and just fun to use. And all it is just Shang Tsung turning into Ermac really quick. But imagine a whole character, an entire character with gear, skins, fatalities, brutalities, throws, fatal blows, crushing blows. Like, oh, it'd be so good. Just the things Ermac could do. And not to mention, Ermac has had some of my favorite looks in all of Mortal Kombat. Like, I have my biases with which characters I think look amazing, but in terms of over the years, Ermac has looked unbelievable. He's got that mummy look where he has the black bandages all around him, which is what made me fall in love with Ermac way back in the day. I think it was MK Deception. I loaded it up and I was like, yo, who's this character? And it was Ermac in his red and black robes, and he had those black bandages wrapped around his face, and all you could see was his green eyes. And I was just, from that moment on, I remember being a kid and just being like, dude, that is one of the coolest characters ever. And his story is so amazing. His moves with the green souls just look so good, and he's just, oh, he's so cool, man. And again, I was just going back and watching MKX footage of the character, and I'm just like, dude, this character is awesome. He is so cool. In terms of customization, I don't really know where they would go with it. Again, he's had such great looks over the years. So he's had that Pharaoh look. If you remember in MKX, I believe it's called Pharaoh, where he's like super mummified, and it's like white bandages all around him, and he's like, his face is all contorted and stuff like that. And he looks really, really cool. So play on that could look really cool. Also, we've got the classic ninja. Give him the classic red ninja outfit. I mean, that alone will make anybody buy the character, you know? You don't even have to give him other skins. Just give him the red ninja outfit and everybody would buy him and play him. But I think Ermac would be awesome, man. I think he could have some really, really cool brutalities with the way his souls move works. Like splitting a character in half with his souls or something like that. And just all the freaking smack that he talks about just being 1,000 souls and you're only one. Like all those intros and stuff could look so good and sound amazing. I think he could have great intros, great outros. Again, fatal blow, fatality. I mean, these characters are literally writing themselves. You know what I'm saying? Like, these characters are so cool, and they've honed in these unbelievably awesome concepts for these characters that they would just copy and paste them into the MK11 world, and they already are amazing. You barely have to do anything, you know? Like, the characters are just so good in and of themselves that you don't have to go above and beyond, you know? But they do. NetherRealm always does, which is what's amazing about them, and which is why they've been so successful for so many years. But it's just, I feel like with all these characters, like, they just put them in the game. Just put him in the game because I want to play as them. But again, yeah, so Ermac could look awesome. His gear, his skins, fatalities, they could all look really good. And he would fit well. He would fit really well. I think his playstyle, not slowed down, but also not super 50-50 in your face. I think it just works because, again, he's that floaty, kind of like waiting for his turn, waiting for you to mess up character, which fits perfectly in MK11 with the playstyle. And now we have number one, but I also have the guest. I have the guest and I have number one, and I don't know which one I want to say first. I think it would be fun to save number one for the very end of the video for, you know, hashtag dramatic effect. But I also think it would be cool to save the guest for the end of the video. So I think I'm just going to finish the MK universe. We're going to say our number one, and then we're going to go into our guest, and we'll wrap up this video because I think I've been rambling for like 20 minutes. But this has been a ton of fun. I really wanted to put this together. But anyway, number one on the next Kombat Pack DLC for me is the one and only Human Smoke. Mind you, very specifically, Human Smoke. Now, yes, give him the robot skins. We'll get into skins and gear in a second. But we need Human Smoke in this game so bad. I literally played Ninja Shang Tsung just to do Smoke Shake, just to see my guy. Just to see my dude Smoke in his ninja outfit again. Since for the first time since Mortal Kombat 9. Oh, I miss Smoke so much. I want to play as him. I want to play as him. I want to be the world's nastiest smoke character. I want to smoke teleport forward. I want to smoke port backwards. I want to throw smoke balls as a low and have people fall from the sky and I get full combos on them. I want to do it all with Human Smoke. And that is my number one spot. Human Smoke has definitely been my number two favorite character, which is kind of unfair to say because nobody can really touch Scorpion for me. Like, Scorpion is just, ever since I was a kid, that's been my character. So the number two spot is very coveted because it's essentially the number one spot outside of Scorpion. But Human Smoke definitely has that for me, man. I mean, I regret playing so much MK9 and just not getting nasty with Smoke. I remember I would watch Mortal Kombat 9 tournaments like MLG Dallas, like 2013, way back in the day tournaments, and I would always wait for the Smoke players to come up because it was just my favorite character to watch. He's always been so cool. His animations, the way his combos look, his moves, his special moves, his fighting style, it's just, it all was just so clean to me, and I loved it. And I always thought it was just so badass when a Smoke player would smoke port forward, make the opponent whiff, and they would just full combo them into Smoke Ball, have them fall from the sky. And I think that's literally right there, the character just wrote himself. That's a variation right there. That's a ranked variation for Smoke right there. A Smoke port where he goes forward and backwards, and the Smoke Ball. You could probably make Smoke Ball part of his base kit, but you get what I'm getting at. You meter burn Smoke Ball, you get to combo extend it. It's all within the Mortal Kombat, you know, fight style and engine, and it all makes sense to me. I didn't just kind of put this list together because I'm just like, oh, what characters do I want, you know, personally. And these are characters I want personally. Like Human Smoke and Ermac, I didn't put any thought into that. I just put them on the list. But when I sat down and I was thinking about, you know, what these characters would be like if they were really in the game, I was like, Human Smoke would look great, man. He's got the smoke shake. You know, you could have a parry variation. That's a variation in and of itself. Like, there's so much room for opportunity here. And then, like I said, there's so many different variations of Smoke. We've got his classic ninja outfit. We've got his long silver-haired, which is my favorite look, which is what I would want his to look like as like the base kit. Then we have, obviously, Triborg Smoke. That's a really cool kind of change of pace, that there's a robot skin and a human skin. I think that would look awesome. That would really give some variety to the character. Again, could they just put him into Triborg with Sektor and Cyrax and just bring back Triborg as a DLC character? Yes. But again, I'm very specifically here talking about Human Smoke as a character in and of itself with a robot skin. I think that would be really cool. So in terms of the customization, I mean, they could probably go with something with his mask, bracers, and Smoke is actually often seen without a weapon. I just went back to check if he was using a weapon in the 3D era games. He's one of like 5 characters in Armageddon that didn't have a weapon stance, so they could kind of just do whatever they want with him in terms of having a weapon. I mean, he's seen with a spear a lot. You could go with the Scorpion, you know, copy that gear piece with a spear, but or they could do something completely different, completely rewrite the character and have him using a different weapon. So a lot of opportunity there for Human Smoke, but that's number 1 for me. I think Human Smoke would look awesome with his gear, his skins. The same thing I've been saying with all these characters. They would all look so good in the Mortal Kombat 11 engine and kind of universe. I think, you know, again, it would be awesome to see all of them, all 5 of them. So again, just to remind you of our top 5 for the MK universe. We still have our guests, which we're about to get into, but just to remind you of the top 5. In the number 5 spot, we got Quan Chi. Number 4, we got Sektor and Cyrax. Number 3, we got Kenshi. Number 2, Ermac. And number 1, Human Smoke. And now, last but not least, we'll quickly go over, because now I've been rambling for a long time. The guest character that I would like to see in MK11 is Ghostface from Scream. Now, I actually didn't have a guest in this top 5 list. I just had the top 5 MK characters. Recently, a announcement for a new Scream movie came out, and I was sitting there and I was like, oh my goodness, that's the guest character. Ghostface from Scream. That would look so good. And I know he doesn't have that many skins. Like, he pretty much just wears a black robe and he's got that one mask. I mean, he's got a few different masks over his iterations, but oh my goodness, Ghostface would be so cool. We need a horror character, right? I know a lot of people are probably saying like Michael Myers or something like that, but I am going to go with Ghostface on this one, man. I think you could make some awesome masks for Ghostface. Give him a couple different knives. I don't know what his third gear piece could be. Maybe his gloves or something like that. But yeah, you could customize his mask. I think that he would look so good. He would look so good. He would have an awesome fatal blow. His fatality, something with that knife would be amazing. Obviously, that's going to be his weapon. And he could be a super close range character, all about being in your face with the knife and things like that, and chasing you down and setting things up to chase you down. I think Ghostface would be awesome. And if they really go with the whole like horror movie trope, which I know they did that with Terminator, like, I mean, he smiles and gives you a thumbs up in the fatal blow, you know what I'm saying? Like, they're not afraid to have some fun with these characters. So I think Ghostface would fit amazing. You could have some horror themes, you could have some funny things in there, because obviously Ghostface is associated with Scary Movie as well. So I don't know, I think there's a lot of opportunity there, and I think seeing Ghostface in a fighting game would be awesome, man. I love the character. I'm a huge fan of the Scream movies. Ghostface is, you know, he's no Jason, but he's definitely one of my favorite like horror movie killers, if you will. So I think Ghostface would be, that's definitely my pick. That's my pick right there. Again, you could just make so many different masks. I think you could make this character so badass. You do the classic Scream face. You could do that MTV show Scream face. You could do the classic Scream face with blood all over it, like you see the old Halloween costumes where you pump the blood through it. Like, there's so much there. There's so much there for this character. So that's my pick for my guest, and that's my top 5 for the MK universe characters as well. So that is the Kombat Pack that if NetherRealm came to me and they're like, hey Flashy, we want you to make this. These are the 6 characters. These are the 6 characters I'd be like, these are the ones going in the game. If you stayed all the way to the end, let me know what you guys thought about my list, and let me know your list down below. Give me your top 5. Give me a guess. Let me see what you guys are thinking about, and let me know if you agree with my list. As always, guys, thank you so much for watching. Hope you enjoyed. You can always check me out on Instagram, instagram.com/iAmFlashyy. That link is in the description. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'm going to see you all in the next one.